Well, praise the Most High today, family. Praise the Most High Yahuwah today. Yahuwah Sabaoth, the Most High Elohim, the Captain of heavens and earthly armies. Hallelujah. Family, it's a gorgeous day here in the Carolinas, and I'm so glad to see it. It's so good to be in the land of the living, with the opportunity and the ability to say, praise the Most High today. We don't take it for granted, family. Even though we say the same old thing every single day, we mean it. We don't take it for granted because we had to see today. The Most High didn't have to have mercy on us and grace us to see this day. No, he didn't. But he did, so we're going to make the best of it by giving him praise, by bringing the glory to him, by bringing honor to his name, because he saved us. Hallelujah. And it's no once saved, always saved. Kick that out your mind. You have to endure to the end like everybody else. Hallelujah. Now we do love the Most High today. Yes, we do. We lift him up with all that we've got. Hallelujah. We do have an absolutely, positively wonderful word or idea for today. Hallelujah. Bear with me, family. Okay, that's better. Okay. And this idea is called, it's no lack of knowledge, it's a lack of due diligence. No, we changed the name of the idea. So the idea is called, it's not a lack of knowledge, it's blatant rejection. It's not a lack of knowledge, it's blatant rejection. It's not a lack of knowledge, it's blatant rejection. And we all know the script that we're coming out of today. And it's Hosea 4:6. And it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Now, just listening to that, you would think there's a lack of knowledge that's being poured out these days. Folks would be quick to say, well, the text says it will be a famine of the word, a famine of the Ruach being poured out. That's not the case. The text says in the last days, knowledge will go out. I think that's in Daniel. Because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the law of your Elohim, I will also forget your children. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So, brother, there's a lack of knowledge out here. Folks are desperate for knowledge. It's just not out here, right? Wrong. Yeah, we're the kings and priests. We're the Most High's chosen people, the kings and priests. But what good are we if we forget the law? If we forget the message? If we lose our flavor? Being the salt, the light, and the city that sits on top of the hill, that the whole house sees by. So when our light has been dimmed, or we put a bushel basket on top of that light, as the text says we do, then what good are we? Just like the text says, if we lose our flavor, being the salt of the earth, then we might as well be thrown out and trampled over, trampled on by the foot of men. You're no more good. And our words for today is rejoinder. Rejoinder, that's the first word. And it means a reply, especially a sharp or witty one. You know how folks get smart with you, but they real quick on the draw with the reply. Like, dog, you were quick with that. And it makes a lot of sense. Sharp with it. And Hosea 4:6 is Yahuwah's sharp and yes witty reply to his people's answer that they made in the form of their actions and even given by their bold leaders' speeches. who say the law is done away with. You don't have to follow the laws. We're free from all that. We're free from structure. We're free from rules. We can do whatever we want to do. Just say, "Lord, forgive me." How that work? When your actions are dead works, what do you expect your life to look like and to be like? Dead works. And the next word for today is reject, which means to dismiss as inadequate, inappropriate, or not to one's taste. I like that one because that describes us stiff-necked people and us hard-headed people to the T. Say that's not to my taste. I want to do what I want to do. I'm an independent woman. I'm a self-made man. I don't need the Most High. Even though He made me, the text says I can do whatever I want to do. I have free will, right? I choose to do what I want to do. No, you don't have no free will. That was the biggest lie Hasatan has ever made and sold to man. You don't have no free will. The Most High has a plan, a will, and a desire and agenda for your life. And it's up to you to go to Him and figure out what He wants you to do. Instead of this blatant rejection, which refers to an open and unmistakable refusal or dismissal of something or someone, often with a lack of subtlety or consideration. It's a form of rejection that is conspicuous, intentional, and often delivered in a brazen or unapologetic manner. Right out with it bold. You tell him to his face, "I don't want you. I don't want your ways. I don't want your laws. I don't want your statutes. I don't want your commandments. I'm going to live my life the way I choose. And I may settle up with you before I die, because I'm going to need you then. I'm going to want to spend eternity with you, and I'll follow your rules after then." But how many of us know that's not how He works? And this is the answer: due diligence. Just like we alluded to, our title was before we changed it. But this is not the answer, because folks refuse. Because rejection means you're not going to do your due diligence. You'll let somebody else do all the research, all the hard work, present it to you with a bow on top, and you'll still say, "Nope, I don't even want to take the time to read it because I know there's going to be responsibility for me." See, and that's why we say everybody know who we are. Even us folks, we know. Folks would be like, "Well, I never heard of that before." You a liar. Everybody knows by now. And everybody has pretty much made up their mind. Until these plagues start hitting this country and the other European countries and the other nations that have sold us out, that have enslaved us these last 400 years. You see them now getting the blues. Just like they had a flash flood down in Texas today. More than likely, 45 people gone in an instant. Just like that. The title of one of the stories was "A Big Black Wall of Death." I wonder if they saw Yahuwah's face. That big black wall of death. Because He's judging. He's pouring out His fury. What the text says, with a strong right hand and with fury poured out. There's no more play time. But due diligence is what we have been doing here in the secret place. Yes, we have been studying to show ourselves approved and listening to other teachers and preachers who have been doing their due diligence and breaking bread. And due diligence is the investigation or exercise of care that a reasonable person is normally expected to take before entering into an agreement or contract with another party, or an act with a certain standard of care. No, you just don't willy-nilly sign on to what anybody says. You have to do your own studying. That's just like me. Don't take what I say for granted. Or don't take what I say as the truth, but sorrow. Do your own study. Because we're talking about eternity here, family. We're not talking about your little puny 70 or 80 years you may live on this earth. No. We're talking about this is just the investment into eternity. Forever. Life or death. Due diligence is the careful verification of information or the reasonable care taken to avoid harm to oneself or others. We don't want to take that special care it takes to figure out your destiny, the destiny of your soul. We don't care. We just want to say, okay, I trust my pastor. My pastor said this, so I'm fine. But you signed a contract with a man who ain't lining up with the Most High's word, who don't care about the Most High's word. They'll say you can do whatever you want to do. No one's perfect. None of us can follow all the Most High's laws completely. But how come Yahusha did it? See, they want to put Yahusha on such a high pedestal, like he want a man, like he didn't have to say no, like he wasn't walking in that flesh just like we are, like he accomplished his goals by the Ruach HaKodesh just like we have to. He has to say no just like we do, or he had to say no just like we do. And the Ruach is what's going to help us. He empowers us, gives us the strength and the desire, as the text says, gives us the will and the power, or the desire and the power. I don't want nobody saying, well, it's willpower. No, it's no willpower. It's the desire and the power that the Most High gives us to carry out his perfect will, to do what pleases him most, as the text says exactly. Another word for lack of due diligence is slack, neglectful, negligent, failing to take proper care in doing something. You don't want it until it's too late. And I gotta share this. I was in this facility today visiting a loved one, and this man been hollering for the last 2 or 3 days, help me. Somebody please help me. I mean, just loud. Aggravating loud. Like, won't somebody help him? But he the individual that I saw when I first started going here visiting this loved one would throw his food on the floor and just do stupid stuff that an individual in their right mind or a normal individual wouldn't do. But you can tell he's very intelligent, because he'll wait and see who's coming and will address them as such. A brother or sister come by, man, won't you help me? Another person of another persuasion come by, ma'am, could you help me please? Change his tune. But all of them got the word now. Hands off. He don't know how to treat people. But I bring that up because I was asking the Most High while I was sitting there. I'm like, what happened with him? And I remember me and my father was speaking about another situation like 3 or 4 days ago about playing the cards you've been dealt. And that we all have to play the cards we're dealt. And according to how we play them cards, we can fold, we can risk it all, or we can say, nope, I sit this out. I'm not playing that hand. And that's what he was saying. It's your choice of how you live your life. And you have to face the consequences of your decisions. And none of us want to hear that, but it's true. And once again, the text says in Hosea 4 and 6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the law of Yahuwah, I will also forget your children. Uh-oh, what did we just say about due diligence? Due diligence is careful verification of information or the reasonable care taken to avoid harm to oneself or to others. So you don't care about your children. Just like our forefathers said when they was trying to get them to hang Yahusha on the tree, they said, crucify him and let the blood be on us and our children. What ignorant folks. Why couldn't they just say, let the blood be on us? Because it's a rule. The sins follow the parents and the grandchildren until an individual will come up and say, well, I want to be obedient. I don't want to keep going through the same generational curses. I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to see, and this is what the main goal of this idea is. I'm going to see why all of our people, the people that look like me, are on the bottom of the totem pole throughout the whole earth. Why is that? No one asks that question. You just listen to your line pastor. What do your pastor say about it? He probably would say, just like anybody else would say, well, you can make it. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Look at Oprah. Look at Denzel. Look at Michael Jordan. Yeah, they're the ones that give us as examples. But you don't see them ever speaking against the establishment. Never. They're always on board to what master say do, to where master say go. And they will give the appearance of godliness, but it's all a lie. They're only going to go so far because that's how they keep you hooked. And Matthew 5:18 says, for truly I tell you, until the sky and the earth pass away and perish, not one smallest letter, nor one little hook will pass away until the law from the law, which the text says not one jot or not one tittle, will pass away from the law until all things it foreshadows are accomplished. Whoever then breaks and does away with or relaxes one of the least important of these commandments and teaches men so, or we could say, or teaches men to do so, shall be called least important in the kingdom of heaven. But he who practices them and teaches others to do them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So I practice them to the best of my ability while we're here in the land of our captivities. And I encourage my brothers and sisters to keep them. But the text we all want to ignore is 2 Corinthians 6:14 through 18. Do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Or we could say with Gentiles who don't believe in the Most High's word. Because when we yoke up with them, they have us following their Elohims, their gods. For what fellowship has righteousness with lawlessness? Uh-oh. Did we hear that coming from Paul's pen? What fellowship has righteousness with lawlessness? You know what lawlessness is, don't you? That's sin. That's transgression of the Most High's laws, statutes, and commands. And what communion has light with darkness? And what accord has Mashiach with Baal or with Baal? Or what part has a believer with an unbeliever? And what agreement has the temple of Yahuwah with idols? For you are the temple of the living Elohim. As Yahuwah has said, I will dwell in them and walk among them. I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. But it's always a big but in the room. I don't care where you at. You can scan the room. There's a big but in there. And it says, therefore come out from among them and be separate, says Yahuwah. Do not touch what is unclean, and I will receive you. I will be a father to you, and you shall be my sons and daughters, says Yahuwah Almighty. However, our main problem is we want our mortal enemies to continue to teach us their lies and alibis, while we continue to cry the blues, complaining to the Most High about our dire situation. But the text says, study to show yourself approved unto Yahuwah, a workman that needs not to be ashamed, but rightly divide the word of truth. 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, study to show yourself approved. Not for pastor or not for anybody else to do their due diligence and then come back and give it to you. Nah, if you do hear something from a preacher or a teacher, you take notes, take good notes, and go home and study it before you invest in this individual. In Matthew 15:14, let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. And we do know what the ditch is, don't we? And we do know where the least important individual in the Most High's kingdom go, don't we? Yeah, hell. And the lake of fire. No, we don't lie to you over here. We tell you the truth. And we tell you to prepare for it. Prepare for what's coming. Prepare for the place that's hitting this earth. Just like it was before. See, the Most High has things on repeat. He'll do things over and over and over, so we'll know what's coming. Yeah, it's different times, so he'll switch it up a bit. Give us the updated version of the plagues. But he still works the same. Just as we were speaking on the floods, Iceland's volcano is erupting. Volcanoes erupting all over the earth. There's so much going on right now, we can hardly even speak on everything that's going on. The storms are brewing over there in the Atlantic, about ready to come and make landfall. And it's going to be the worst hurricane season ever. And they're already talking about the crazy tornadoes that they expect. Superstorms. But where are you? Are you repentant today? Saying, Father, please forgive me. I want to get right. I want to do right with my life. I don't want you to reject me. As we say in this title, it's not a lack of knowledge. It's blatant rejection. It's blatant rejection. Blatantly dismissing the Most High, saying, no, you dismiss. Carry on. Do your thing. I don't want no part of it. But we have to make up our minds today, family. What about you? Where you at? What you gonna do? We don't want to get in front of him, family. He say, depart from me. Like we said in the prior recording, these are 3 words no one should ever have to hear. No. He puts out the knowledge so simple and plain. But we want to play games. See, what we have now on this earth is an investment. Where are you going to put your chips at? Are you going to put them in the Most High and his eternity? Or are you going to side with Hasatan and spend forever with him and his imps as they are punished? Who you signing the contract with? Who you making covenant with? Easy questions, but we make it hard. Because we don't want the responsibility of living right. It's too hard, Robert. You old, you don't understand. Oh, really? I'm in my prime, baby. I don't know what you're talking about. However, at the same time, I know the truth just as well as you do. You got to follow them laws, statutes, and commands. It's no excuse. It shows the exact way to live. And when we walk outside them laws, statutes, and commands, what happened? Death, destruction, plague, sickness, disease, hurt. Because we're without the Most High. See, once we break his laws, statutes, and commands, we're sided on the other side of town, on the other side of the street, on the other side of the railroad track. And you know you don't want to be on the other side of the railroad track after it's dark. That's our time, family. We love you so much. Do stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom. Hallelujah.